Okay, the place. Okay, well, that's the wrong place. Okay, here it is. Okay, actually, where we're at now is, I guess let's see, let me see how this lines up. Number cough. We're on number cough, I think. On page, okay, you don't have the same pages.
You.
More or less. So so let's look at the image that's here on the Hadlik. The Hadlik, when you say the word lahadlik, together with the Kol Gematria Av Sag Ma, which we see in the image down below, you cover the Hamshich Mechabad Chagat Nai the Zer Anpen, the Shem Ben Shebenuk. So it's coming from those three places. And he shows you that the Asam here, he says all of these have 42 letters in the Pasha, the Mole and the Mole, the Mole. And he says that the first one, of course, is Av. The Av comes from the Chabad. He says, where do they come from? They come from the upper part, the Bechabad, the Zer Anpen. And then you have the Sag, it comes from the Chagat. And then it has the Ma, which comes from the Menai. I think we did number 19, number Yud Tes. And now we're on number Kof. What did number Kof say? He says Shem Sag, and then he shows Shag, and then he said Sag, which normally would come for the Rosh, but he already used all of the Chabad for the Rosh. He says that it comes from the Chagat. Okay, so now looking over here and reading the Shefa of RASHASH. So he says Shem Sag. He says it's Sarach Ion Heichna Asa Shem Sag Chagat. So he says how you have to look into that. How do they take about? Now we're going to go to number Kaf Aleph. Where is Kaf Aleph? Kaf Aleph is on the next page. Next page. And we're working on the word NER. Now, we might as well look at the image that we have by NER. And he has a little bit of a Teves Kavanos on it, too. We could just read it. The word NER, he says, actually, NER is composed of the Shaluvim of Havaya and Akia, etc. Havaya Akia, Havaya Elokim, and Havaya Adni. But here he shows it in Milui form. It goes through the same thing, where the part which would be associated with Elokim would be Chabad. I went in the middle for whatever reason. I'm starting at the top. It was the Kesser would be associated with the blending of the Miluyim of Havaya and Akia, and then Havaya Elokim, and then Havaya Adni. All of them, looking at the right side, he says they would be correspond to Kesser, Chabad, and Zat. That's where they're coming from, the Zayin Tachtonos. And then he shows it on the other side. He says that the Kesser is composed of two components, Atik V'nuk and Arich V'nuk. The Elokim part, which is coming from the Chabad, would be Abba V'ima V'yasos, the whole bundle there. And then the final part would be Zun, and also the lower parts of would be Yaakov or Rachel. So let's go back to the previous, or let's look at number Kaf Aleph. I guess that's a Nun Bet. So the Nun Bet would read like this. He says NER, and he spells, actually just spelling them out. So we'll go through it real quick. Kavanot Shlish is he, the Kavach and Yichud NER. Shehem Shlosha Yechudim b'Shem Havaya. Rishon hu Yichud b'Keser Shalachem v'hu Havaya b'Akia. Hasheni hu Yichud b'Chabad Shalachem v'hu Havaya b'Elokim. V'Ashlishi hu Yichud b'Zayin Tachtona Shalachem v'hu Havaya b'Adni. V'Shlosha Yechudim Elu b'Pshutom Olim is b'Ner that we know. Amnam is ba'arach b'shar kavanos sheyesh the kaven as shemes avay b'milui with the miluyim of Asam. V'od Kosev Shama Rab, then the Rab also writes over there, the Beyichud, the Rishon, Shulchavaya Akya, in the first Yichud, which is Havaya Akya, Yesh the Kavin Gam as Shem Akya B'milu Yudin, so he says all that. So let's go backwards, and let's pick up number Kaf at the bottom. No, excuse Kaf Aleph, sorry. 1 second, let me get a drink here. Okay. And he says, Hine b'shilav shem havaya im shar shemos, pamim makdimim as shem havaya the shem acher. So sometimes the name havaya comes first. But he says, when you see this around, you say, the pamim shem acher makdim the shem havaya. But then on the other hand, the other name, which is not havaya, will come first. Okagon b'shilav havaya adni. Yesh derek l'shalvam kach, like this with the yud on the outside. Yesh derek l'shalvam kach, where the aleph is on the outside. So one is called the yichud panimi, chitzoni. The other one is called the yichud panimi. V'siddur rashash b'kavanas matbeah habracha. Nirsham sham shiluvei chavaya ekya. So we see over there that he's pointing that out. A shilav a makdim as shem chavaya kodem lo yichud chitzon. So he says where the chavaya is first, that's the yichud chitzon, while the shilav she'ekya b'kodem, and the shilav where the ekya comes first, lo chavaya, kor lo yichud panimi. So that we know this already. Koro b'sefer, let me get this right. Koro b'sefer NER Shalom. 1 second, one more second. Sefer NER Shalom, Daf Kaf Aleph Amud Beis, the Yichud b'Chabad Shuchucha Panimi. So the Yichud of Chabad, which is a Panimi Yichud, Makdim Ekya L'Chavaya. There you see the Ekya comes first. The Chavaya is on the inside. The Yichud Chagat Nahi Shuchucha Chitzon Makdim Chavaya L'Ekya. So somewhere else you see it like this. We made the move of the hadin, this din b'shiluv of Havaya in Kar Shar L'Shemos, the kasher shem Havaya kodim. So since the Havaya comes first, nikru yichud chitzo, the kasher shar Shemos kodim, when other the names comes over yichud panimi. Okay, so those are facts. I guess we've heard that before. In our case, of nidon didon b'shem shel yichud ner, when we talk about that, siddur is kula b'yichud chitzon. Put them all where the yichud is chitzon. The chaydish Hashem b'vaya kodim. Of all the command, b'kavon is Teves Chanukah, but when we get to the word Chanukah, which we're going to get to, is shechesh siddur od pam shilav shemos elu. It's just the shemos peshutim which add up to ner. Siddur is a shid of a rishon avaya ek yecha kaseder yichud panimi dehaina sheshem ek yemaknim the shem avaya. Okay, no problem. Beila b'shachar shemos siddur ukamol kan. So also in the other rest of the names they organize it like this: shem havaya kodin. The shem havaya comes first. V'tzarach ian b'kol zeh. So sometimes it's first, sometimes the Havaya is first, sometimes it's not. He said, the Masha Siddur Kan B'Yichud Ner. So when we're talking about this Yichud here, Seder Yichud Chitzon, that's the Chitzon Seder. Bioro, who to explain is like this: the Keven Shachat Lokas Ner Chanukah Hu Maisa. That's the reason why. He said, because it's an action. Who shaykh the yichud chitzon, so actions are going to be on the chitzonius. B'chein siddur b'kavanas istaklos b'neiru Shabbos. Also, when you're looking at the lights of Shabbos, b'siddur hiyari over there, he says kol shlosha yichudim elu b'yichud chitzon. All of them are going to be in the yichud chitzon. The hinder the Havaya kol the shar shemos, batam kanel the chad loko ki ma'isa. That's the whole point of what we're learning here. So therefore it goes that way. Vayin od be'inyan seder hashelav. So we'll see that b'shachar kavanah drashi chodesh drashi chazaras amidas drash hey. So he says over there. Drashi b'shar kavanah drashi chazaras amida. Okay. Shekos v'rav l'chalek b'yichud chavaya adnei b'kavanas amein. So he says that you're supposed to do mida. He says shekos v'rav l'chalek, to make a differentiation here or to split b'yichud chavaya adnei b'kavanas amein. What does that mean? Ein sham. They put an amein in between. Ein sham. Bayin od masha kakos v'chem b'farshim the buyer as seder hashilav. Also, b'kavanas yichud shal ha'mevarech as amo yisrael b'shalom. The sham there, chiluk bein yichud havaya ekya l'chavavaya elokim v'lechavavaya adni ein sham b'tzarech ion. There they separate them. Not sure what he meant. So he said you have to look over there. V'od yesh the lahoyer leiv mekavein. So in order to arouse the heart of the person who's making the kavanah, the hamavur kan b'siddur rashash. The Iker Yichud Ner, the main part of the Yichud of Ner, who Yichud Yaakov Rachel B'Koch B'Kuma, which is Yaakov and Rachel, which is the lowest parts of, said the parts of him. Na'asecha B'Kan B'Teves Ner, all of that is done. Let's say that the Shehu Yichud Yaakov and Rachel takes place in the Ner. Who Nikra Yichud Ner. Av sha'ana mekuvanim as shemos, even though our kavana is for the shemos of abayim mimeluim. Here we have them in a milui form that would set up. But now we see on the top of the page. Kevin shepeshuta chamaoidach b'ner. So since in their poshet they're considered to be, they are ner. A nikra yichud ner, still called by the same name. V'sidach hayare chosiv kan v'zalashana. He adds this in. Yikavin the Gimel Yehuda and his Karim, we should have Kavana on these three Yekudim Bipashdusam Gematria NER. So Uma Ashebekuvanim Acher Kach Teves Chanukah. And then after we get done with this, the next word we're going to go to is the word Chanukah. And the Kavana over there is the Kaf He Osius Shal Yichud NER, and there's going to be in the Yichud of NER, there's going to be 25 letters. So if you could count them up if you wanted in the regular, this is the Vaya Ekya, so on and so forth like that. Is a who rak shachas osius shall yichud elu el hanuk. This is only for the purpose of streaming the osius, the raka osius shall yichudim. It's to bring those same letters, assuming that the letters contain the light, the Ein Sof inside of them, to the Nuk. But the main yichud is made now. I'm not sure what he meant now. He means up above like that, in a milui form. Od yesh his bonain bekuvanas yichudim elu lam because of a rav rak b'shem ekya, the kavah the b'melua, that you want to have a kavana with its mullah b'shem elokim b'shem adni lo kasav zos. Okay, let's look at that. So the first one, the top one, is Yud K Vav K, and it also has Aleph K, Yud K in Milui. But the next one has Yud, then it goes to an Aleph, and then has a Milui of the K, and then it goes an Ilim. So he's pointing out that it wasn't just complete Yichud, excuse me, a complete Elokim and Milui. Same thing with Adni. Adni is spelled out simply. So what it is that a Milui, and in order to understand it well, you have to really understand what's going on in the Milui. What does a Milui add to the Pashut? It spreads it out, it makes it bigger. And I'm assuming that it makes it more physical because you know, as you're getting into it, you see it more. The question is, and I'm not sure what the answer would be, is why it is that on the first one, you have all the Miluim, everything, the Chavaya and the Aki is in a Milui form, and the other ones, the Chavaya, which all the Chavayas are on the outside, these are Hitzoni, is the only part that is in a milui, because the Elokim and the Adni are not in milui. Not sure what that means. Let's go to the next thing. He says that the first one, which is looking back at the image again, and we're going to look at number Kaf Bet. He says that the image is that Yud K. We're just saying Yud K K. So Yud Aleph. I'm sorry, just looking at it. I don't have to read it. Is referring to the Kesser part, which is referred to Atik V'Nuk and V'Nuk and Arich V'Nuk. So we have a little note down here at the bottom on number Kaf Bet. Number Kaf Bet says, so he shows it to us, the first Milui. So he says, but the Siddur Yara Hosif, he adds on to this, says Shilav Shemus Elu Olam Misbarego. He wants to add that in. Lomer Shagam Chanukah Nikra Regel. So there happens to be that in the Yara he actually spells that out for us. And he wants to let you know that it's a regel. So the question is, that is that shilla between the Havaya and the Ekia in a Milui form is the word regel. So he says that is in that combination. Now, this is not one of the Shlosh Regalim where everybody has to go up. It's like a foot festival, so where everybody has to walk to Jerusalem. This is actually, that's regel. This is not what's going on here, but they say regel is indicating that this is also a holiday. That's the way he's leaving it right now. Okay, number Kaf Gimel, which is at the end, up at the bottom, up at the top, and after this Shilav of Miluyim, it says that Atik V'Nuk V'Arich V'Nuk, it refers to the Kesser, and we have this number Kaf Gimel down below. Kaf Gimel says Atik V'Nuk Hosav Nachav'Teves Elu Lefi Shehu B'Bechina Echad. It's really one thing. Imasha Kasa B'Siddur Didon that we have in our Rashash Letter. Says what? He says the Kesser is Chabad Zat. Those are the three elements from which the light is flowing. Ubir Chadavu al Pid Rosh Das. He says that's in the Sefer Nahar Shalom in the Mudfas. The called Kuma that all the whole stature, the whole height, Mischalekas the Kesser Chabad and Vav. Bavachem Klulim called Yud Beis Partsufim. So in them, then you could count up all the 12 Partsufim. So here we see that we're using the concept of 12 Partsufim. V'chakesser hu Beis Partsufi Atik V'Nuk hu Beis Partsufi Arich V'Nuk. That's 4 of them. V'chabad hu Partsufi Abba V'Ima. That's 6 of Partsufi Yisrael Sava, which is 8. And then he says the Vok part, hu Partsufi Zun Gedolim V'Zun Katanim, which are also known as Yaakov V'Rachel. Ba'ayin Sham Hetiv. Im came nimsa the yichud the rishon, so therefore it comes out that the first yichud, shekasa b'siddur didon shuhu b'keser, hu atik v'nuk v'arich v'nuk. V'yichud the sheni shekasa b'siddur didon shuhu b'chabad, hu abba v'ima v'yasos. V'yichud the shlishi shekasa b'siddur didon hu b'vog v'hu zun v'gedoyle v'zun v'getanim, v'pashat b'siddur yare, Kasav Khan, Lukamon, cross of Cain, Lukamon, Begavanas, Kaf, Hey, Shal Chanukah, when we get to Chanukah, and we're going to be working on those 25 letters that are in the basic Havaya Ekya, Havaya Elokim, Havaya Adni. So now we'll look at it a little bit more. So now we're coming over to the next page, and the next drawing, I'll call it Tamuna, is from the word Chanukah. And there's a little bit of a note on this. And then he says, Yukavin lahamshek me'ima lenuk sag v'ko. So you have this kavana that you're going to send from Ima. The number 89, or these two, is Sag and Ko, come to the Gematria of 89. That is Sag plus the Gematria of the Pasha. And so now he shows it to us. He shows it to a Sag, And then he has next to the Sag, just like he wrote up above it, the name Havaya. Adding them up, it comes to the Gematria of Chanukah, which is also Gematria of 89. So we see that from the Gematria, you could see backwards what is inside of the Gematria, which is this Havaya, the Milui of Sag, and then Havaya Pashut. So I'm always looking to see what is the, how he gets these combinations, which I don't know. Then it says Gematria Chanukah. So this comes to Gematria of Chanukah. So reading on in the Tamuna, he says, Gam Yakave the Hamshik the Nuk Osius the Shlosha Yehudim Menal, send her the letters of them. So the letters are very malchustic. And he says the Kesser is going to be, once again, this is just, we know, this is a via Ekya, via Elokim, and a via Adni. And once again, he says that what's coming into the Nook, he says it's going into the Nook, is going to be this number of letters. Of course, the via Ekya refers to Ate V'Nook, and the Rich, the Luruk, and the Havaya Elokim is going to be Abba V'iba V'Yasos. And the Havaya, the Havaya Adni is going to be Zun v'Yakov v'Rachel. This is all the different places the Shefa is going to go to, coming from and going to. So going back up, we have a number Nun Gimel, and let's see if there's anything interesting in the Yud Gimel. And reading the light print, he says Kavana Revi is he. So there's a fourth Kavana here. What is that? The Kavod b'Teves Chanukah Shefa me'ima l'Nuk. So it's got to go from Ima into the Nuk. She'ima Nikra Shem Sag. Abahu Shem Av. Ima is the Shem Sag in general. Zer Anpin is the Shem V'ma, and the Nuk is the Shem Ben. V'Shem Sag b'Tzira v'Shem Chavaya Pashut. So if you take the name Sag, you add it into the Chavaya, which is Pashut. Ola b'Misper Peitas, you now have the count of 89. Shuhu Olu b'Misper Chanukah, which is the same Gematria as Chanukah. So here we see that the letters have to match up with the idea that you have the Chanukah. What is Chanukah? So his Chanukah is actually a Havaya with the Milui of Sag, and the name Havaya along with it. So this is a hamshacha that's coming from Ima to the Nuk. Now, my question would be, how's it getting to the Nuk? So I'm not sure. So let's look. There was, is there anything else on here? No, not yet. Gematria Chanukah. So now we're back reading a little bit at the top where it says, Gam Yakavein lahamshecha the Nuk osius the Shlosha Yehudim. And now, also you're going to send her the Lushahu Misper Kafei, the Chanukah. That's the part of the Chanukah. At the end, and just counting up the letters, that gives you part of the concept of, once again, coming from Keser Chabad Vok. So Atik V'Nuk, Arich V'Nuk, Abba V'iva V'Yasos, and Zon V'Yakov V'Rachel, all of that together. So now we're going to number, I think we read number Nun Gimel. Yeah. Now we're going to number Nun Daled. And we could turn the page a little bit. And we said, well, let's look at the black print. The black print is Atik, V'Nuk, etc. So he says, where am I? Zavagam Yikavan Lachamshik V'Nuk Osius the Shlosha Yehudim. And now, so we're taking the letters, just the letters, and now Shuhum Misper Kothe comes at 25. The Chanukah, which is the last two letters of Hanukkah. Kavana Chamishisi, here's the fifth Kavana. So first we were talking about the Kavana on the NER. The Yached as the Zun b'Shlosha Yechudim is to find three different ways to make a Yichud in Zun, which is a via, and those three different ways are via Ekyer, via Elokim, and via Adni. And what are we using here? In order to show this, we're using the concept of the mispar, just to count of the numbers. So now the Kavana that we have in the Teves of Chanukah, Sheyakavin ba'osius ko, the 25 Chanukah are those last two letters in the name Chanukah. Sharoma is the Kafhe Osi Shiesh B'Shlosha Yehudim, and now which is the 25 letters that you have in by combination. Sheyamshek Shefa Zechav the Shlosha Yehudim Elu the Nuk, so that you have now the word Chanu and then the Ka, or the Ka, which is going to be coming from the letters, the count of the letters themselves. Now we're coming over here and we're Birchas Sheasaw Nisim. We're going to start here. So I think we did number Nun Hey. Birchas Sheasaw Nisim. He has a note here on Nun Hey, which is at the bottom of the page, in the Teves. He said, Birchas Sheasaw Nisim, HaKavana B'Shem Kavayach Fucha, which is going to be the opposite. So how does this work? What is the opposite about it? He says because lahadlik shebebirchas lahadlik choisach hakavanda b'shem havaya b'malamala lamata. When you're looking at the havaya, and you're starting, the way you're looking at it is from the bottom to the top. I just said that complete backwards, so let me say it again. You're supposed to look at it from the top to the bottom. Behind the Shabbalayach of Rishon, L'choisa Keneged Sfiras Chesed, V'la the Shnia Keneged Sfiras Gevura. On them, Bebirchas She'asaw Nisim, but when you get to Awesome Nisim, we're not going to do it that way. The Kavana here is going to be from the bottom to the top. He says, Shabbalayach of Rishon, that in the first night, the Kavana B'Shem B'vaya, the Sfiras Malchus. Of the Shnia, connected Sfiras Yisod, V'chein Hala. So the same way is going to be like that. Kamosha Ba'ar from Achas La'achas, and we'll explain them one at a time. Landa Bebracha Zo, Bekuvanim Osacham and Nekudos, Bekol Osis Hashem. So we're also going to be looking at the Nekudos of all the letters in the name. Bein Ba'osis Charim, Bein Ba'osis Anuk, and there's going to be a difference also like that which we saw before. And we'll see that. I'm not sure exactly where he's at there. I don't see it on this page. So, looking at this word Baruch, going back to the Tamuna, that we just did number Nun Hey, right? So this says, you say the magic word Baruch here, and he says the idea now is going to be the Hamshek Shefa Mekaser Elyon, the Beis Zivugi Chagat, the atik, arich, v'atik. So, first of all, Hamshek Shefa Bekeser Elyon, fine. The Beis Zivugi Chagat the atik, v'arich anpin. So let's see. My question would be, of course, is that I'm not sure that I got the idea of the significance of it's coming from the Chagat. So as Rabbi Memran said, is that the addresses always match. So you're coming, I guess, I'll guess that Chagat refers to those mochin that are coming to Zeranpin, because it's going to come from that place. So he says, going back to the image itself, so we see here that the olives are on the outside, except for the last one. No, the second one. So let's wait. Oh, got it wrong. So actually, it starts off with the Ekia on the outside, which was called the Yichud Benimi, and then it's also going to show you the Chavaya on the outside, so which is going to be a Yichud Chitzon, and he says the first one is going to be a Yichud of the Chabad, the second one is going to be a Yichud of the Nai V'Chagat, which is the middle section. Why he says Nai V'Chagat, I'm not sure. Maybe he should have said, I would have been happier if he said V'Chagat V'Nai. But he didn't say it like that. He said the bottom part first, Nai V'Chagat. And then he said the B'Zivuk Panimi, the next one is going to be Havaya Ekia again. This time the Chabad. And Havaya Ekia, again, the Nai V'Chagat, the Chagat, the Erik Anpin. So this is all coming from the Chagat, the Variach, Chagat, the Erik Anpin. We're talking about the Keser here. That's where the light is flowing out of. It flows out and it looks like this. And he says also the place it's coming from. Yikavin lahamshik shefach b'zivuga b'nibi d'chaba d'ma'u ben the Erik Anpin. So the idea is he says the Chabad Dema Uben, which is the right side, left side, the Erik Anpin, the zivug penimi the haba the ma u ben the abba ve'iba v'yasa. So you're going to take it and send it to the same direction that you took it, that it came from. It's going to continue flowing to the same DNA. Then he shows us the shiluf of Ekia and Avaya with the Ekia on the outside. In other words, it's a yichud penimi. So he shows us here, this is a tamuna that we've seen before. This is the, like I say, the beginning of the stream. So on the Shefa Dema, when we're talking about the Shefa that's coming from the right side, which originally I think comes out of Chochmah, is going to be the common for Mochi, which is Asmab, which is going to be Av, Sag, Ma, U, Ben, all of them. Now on the Shefet of the Ben, on the other side, though, he only lists two. The first one he lists which is, we call it Casa, Gematria 161, and it's going to refer apparently to the first two. And the way that he's writing it, it seems to me that we could say, or I'd guess to say, or what, that actually the Ekia in the Milui of Yudin actually covers both Av and Sag. And then the Ekia with the Milui of, which is, let's say that Milui is what we call the male aspect, it would be the male part. And then the next part, which would be also corresponding to it, which is the Aleph K Yud K, which is Kamug 143, that number or that idea will cover over the Yud K Vav K and the Ma and the Ben. So because he had said previously that the Ekiyas are really a levush for the Malach that's inside of it. So each one of them is going to go into the Malchus there. That is, on the right side, the Shefa of Ma is going to go into the name Havaya. And the name Ekia will be going into the name for the left side for the Shefa that's coming from Ben. So going below that, let's just look at the Malchus, the one that says Shefa de Ma, at the very bottom of that. And it's possible, once again, that this, anyway, they're all mislavish inside of Malchus. But l'chamshek achar kach liyisod the Abba v'yasos, and you're going to go from there, and you're going to send it into the yisod of Abba v'yasos. That's all on the right side, those two. And the other, l'chamshek achar kach liyisod the Ima Tevuna sheba, also to the yisodos of Ima and Tevuna. That's on the left side. Then he shows us this Tamuna again of Aleph K of the Shilav of Aleph. Well, he's writing just the letter Aleph. Then he has a double K, a Yud, and a double K again. Now we said before that the number 42, these double Ks here, each one of us is 42. Yud is 20 and Aleph is 111. I think we added them up before. I'm not sure what they come out to be. I have to go back to it to find it. I don't know where it is. I should have done that. But at any rate, he brings us this again. And we know that the 42s are a concept of going up, of moving this whole thing upwards or inwards. Not sure exactly how to describe it. So let's go to the next one. The next page has the Hamshech Shefa. So the Hamshech Shefa, Mezivuk Hitzonius, the Abba Ve'ima V'Yasav, Gematria, Gimel Mab, Umiluehem. So we have mobs again. So looking down, here's the Shilav of Avaya Ekia, first thing. Avaya Ekia, there's a Yichud, and it produces these lights, these Oros. And the Oros are a form of the, Menukad, which, in the Patach, which is Chochmah, and the Seri, which is Bina. And then in the middle, you have, of course, always the split, which refers to Das. So these are the Oros that are going to fit into what we see down below, which is the Havaya, which is the Pasha, and the Mole, and the Mole of each of them. So each one of them, we're going to bring this Shefa coming down. So he says, up above he had written, Lahamshech Shefa Mezivul Gitzoni is the Abba Ve'ima V'Yasos. That's this Shilav right here. He says, Vyasas Gimel Mob Mimulehem, we're going to bring all of these mobs. Once again, the mob is a function of going up. So it has to do with the candles. I'm not sure exactly how that works. So now the next one is, how are we doing here time-wise? We have very little time. We'll just look at it real quickly then. It says Ata. We say the word Ata. Now we are in this bracha and we're saying the word Ata. Ata brings about Nizivog Penimi the Abba V'imba V'yamshek Asma. We're going to do the same thing again. This, or not the same thing, but we're going to do this Asma. V'chamish Chasade Ma'abba V'ima. Ma'abba, V'yasos on the right side. This is all your right side Shefa. So you'd have a Yichud Penimi, which is this, where the Yud is on the inside. And this is the Kavana is that this is Asma. So on the right side you have Av and Ma. On the left side, you have Ima and Ben. And then all together with it, you also have 5 chasadim that are going to come through it also. Where is it going? It's going to the Yisod of Benima, the Ima, Devuna. It's going into the Ima's Dika side. Shabbat Teferes and Netzach and Hod, he wants to let us know that. I'm not sure that I understand it. He said, well, Tevina holds everything else that's going to come out of it. Is that what he means to say? So he says, what are you sending? You're going to say kamag, you're going to say kona, and you're going to say kamag. So like that, that's what's going to be sent. And then the last one, we have 2 more to do. I think we'll come back to this. We're running out of time. So we'll come back to this and keep analyzing starting tomorrow. Kol Tov.